Hi, Rosemary. Surprise! We're here to honor you tonight and the legacy that you've left behind, not only in our community, but at the Community Foundation.
As a staff, you always held up a mirror to help us realize our greatest potential. And tonight, Rosemary, we want to hold up that same mirror and help you to reflect on the great legacy that you've left and the positive impact that you've made in our community.
So Rosemary, grab a Kleenex. I've got a box. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
I first got introduced to Rosemary when she was basically telling her story as part of the women's group. And it was at the Walper Hotel, and I remember walking up to her afterwards and saying, "Oh my gosh, you pack a punch." So she intrigued me from the get-go, and she's never shied away from her values. And I know that there are times in her career where she's spoken truth to power, even when it's unpopular. That's a difficult thing to do for anyone, and a very necessary skill when you're pushing the boundaries of what exists to what could be. And I think Rosemary's very good at that.
What I got to know about Rosemary beyond the boardroom was someone that was very committed to community and building community. Her interest in people and making sure that people felt like they belonged, in the community.
She does seem to be a bit of a change agent, but never in a self-promotional way in my experience. Always things that bettered other people and gave other people opportunity.
She was often the silent partner in a lot of these opportunities. You look at things like Capacity Canada and its roots. You look at things like Social Venture Partners and their roots. Rosemary had a hand in creating these, other juggernaut organizations that are doing unbelievable work. But you don't really know that until somebody tells you, because it sure as heck is not going to be her.
The one thing I appreciate the most about Rosemary was her honesty. So we would meet for breakfast at Homestyle Diner on Albert Street. We would sit there and she would tell me the good and she would tell me the bad and she would tell me the ugly. And I'm a pretty straight shooter, so I absolutely appreciated that about her.
She is a huge dog lover. When we worked in the same building together, we would make sure we didn't bring our dogs in on the same day because they are all princesses.
The other thing that I've always been really impressed about Rosemary, she really grew up in an intergenerational family, and her grandmother played a huge role in her life. And even now, she will quote lessons learned and wisdom that she learned by observing how her grandmother interacted in a fairly small community, which Owen Sound was at that time.
People think of Rosemary as that, hard-hitting community builder. She has very strong opinions about things, but underneath that is that heart of gold and such a soft spot and a sweet and caring individual.
I've stopped by her cottage and we've had wine. We've gone out to solve the problems of the world and had wine, and events that we've been to together. So it seems to center around wine.
She fits in like family. She pulls her chair up to the counter in the kitchen. She'll help chop vegetables. She's always full of good stories. Usually brings a bottle of wine. So I think Rosemary invests an awful lot in her friendships, and that comes through. She's a very good friend to so many people.
She's really good at holding up that mirror, and I wasn't able to see things in myself that she saw in me that helped develop me and understand where my contributions could go.
If I could describe Rosemary in one word, determined.
Ball of fire would be how I would describe Rosemary.
Compassionate. She's compassionate. She's compassionate to those around her. I think she's compassionate with herself.
I think I would call her a dream catcher, because I think she has had a vision for herself that she's followed with a great deal of commitment. And I think she also envisions and facilitates other people's dreams to come to realizations.
I would describe Rosemary in one word as strategic.
Coach. She did a good job of working with the various team members to bring out the best in each of us.
Spark. It's not just the spark in Rosemary, but also what she sparks in others to build a better community.
It would have to be selfless in every way possible. Courageous. Why? Oh, dang. She has the courage to stand up for what's right and what's best for our community, even when it might not be the most popular thing.
Rosemary, it has been an absolute joy and pleasure to work so closely with you. I'm honored to call you a colleague and certainly honored to call you a friend.
You're unique and compassionate and genuine and honest.
For your investment in me, both personally and corporately. I certainly thank you for that.
I'm not sure if you'll ever really realize how much you've impacted my life, but I will be forever grateful.
You sparked a passion in me, not only for the work of the foundation, but for our community.
We all owe you an incredible debt of gratitude for everything that you've done for us, and know that we will continue to pass that on to future generations and to our neighbors and our communities wherever we go.
Rosemary, no doubt you will continue to shape your environment and inspire people, and I look forward to hearing what happens in the next chapter of the life of Rosemary Smith.